Advisory. Some episodes of the 1836 podcast are not intended for all audiences due to details that might be considered disturbing. Listener and viewer discretion is advised.
On November 21st, 1912, near the Boone County and Marion County line, a community was shaken by the brutal murder of 18-year-old Lillian Ethel Barham. Known by Ella, she had been raped, killed by a massive blow to the head, and dismembered. Her remains scattered across the hillside near Crooked Creek, close to her family's farm. The horrific crime sparked outrage and a burning demand for justice. Suspicion quickly fell on Odus Davidson, a 29-year-old farmer still living with his parents on a nearby farm. Odus, a reserved, unmarried man who stood out in a community where most men his age were married, had reportedly been romantically interested in Ella, but she rejected him. His odd behavior during the search for Ella raised suspicions. He was seen sitting alone, not participating, and hesitated when asked to join, saying he needed to get his sisters home. That night, after Ella's body was discovered, Boone County Sheriff James Helm arrested Odus at his family's home. A hand was seen dropping a pair of socks containing red pepper flakes from his bedroom window. The pepper flakes in his socks were believed to have been used to hinder bloodhounds, further fueling suspicion. His brother Laird was also arrested as a possible accomplice. The investigation, supported by both Boone and Marion County officials, relied heavily on circumstantial evidence. Blood was found near the Davidson Cemetery, along with bloody rocks and Ella's shoes, stockings, and comb in a nearby ravine. Bare footprints led toward the crime scene, but they were larger than Odus's feet, though a courtroom demonstration suggested they could appear larger if he was carrying Ella's body. An axe with what appeared to be bloodstains was found on the Davidson woodpile, but the family claimed it was from a hog slaughtered the previous week, and its location near a public road raised questions about tampering. A local autopsy suggested Ella had been raped, possibly by multiple men, but early 20th century forensics lacked the precision to confirm details or link evidence directly to Odus. No eyewitnesses or definitive proof tied him to the crime. Odus's trial began on January 20th, 1913, in the Boone County Circuit Court, overflowing with hundreds of spectators. Over 35 people testified, including family members who claimed Odus was at home at the time during the murder, though conflicting timelines weakened their alibi. A young woman testified that she was engaged to Odus, possibly to counter the motive of rejection. Witnesses also claimed Odus had vowed to get even with Ella for rejecting him. Odus remained stoic, choosing not to testify. On January 25th, the jury found him guilty of first-degree murder. Fearing mob violence, he was secretly moved to the jail in Berryville before sentencing. On February 3rd, Judge George William Reed sentenced Odus to death by hanging. Appeals to the Arkansas Supreme Court argued that Odus's absence from the courtroom during the verdict violated his constitutional rights, but the court upheld the conviction on June 9th. Efforts to reach the United States Supreme Court failed due to timing issues, and Governor George Washington Hayes denied a stay of execution. On August 11, 1913, Odus Davidson was hanged in Harrison inside an enclosed scaffold before thousands of spectators. Moments before his death, he proclaimed his innocence to the crowd and told them that he hoped the identity of the real killer would one day be known. During his incarceration, he reportedly told a jailer he hated to be hanged for what three men had did, a claim echoed in a 1913 Arkansas Gazette article, though its accuracy is debated. The day after his execution, a sworn statement was released, allegedly written by Odus, reaffirming his innocence and forgiving his accusers. The rope used to hang him was cut into pieces and tossed to the crowd as souvenirs. Odus Davidson was the last person legally hanged in Boone County before Arkansas switched to electrocution. His tombstone in Harrison's Maplewood Cemetery reads, "His life taken August 11, 1913, by misrepresentations born of excitement." Due to lack of sufficient evidence, Laird's charges were dropped in 1914, and the Davidson family, facing threats, fled to Oklahoma. Doubts about Odus's guilt have persisted for over a century. The evidence was entirely circumstantial. The peppered socks could have been unrelated or planted, the blood on the axe was contested, and the footprints didn't match Odus's feet. The lack of advanced forensics in 1912, no microscopes or DNA testing, meant the investigation couldn't confirm critical details, like the number of perpetrators suggested by the autopsy. The trial's rush timeline, arrest to execution in under 9 months, combined with community pressure and threats of lynching, created a charged atmosphere that may have influenced the verdict. The Batesville Daily Guard criticized the conviction, stating, "No man ought to be hung on circumstantial evidence." Alternative suspects emerged, including Otis's brother Lair and Charles Martin, Otis's brother-in-law, who was rumored to have a fixation on Ella and a violent background, but he was never pursued. 2 brothers, Harrison and Houston Haynes, were briefly suspected due to blood-stained evidence from an unrelated crime, but were cleared. A mysterious man in bloody clothes seen in a Springfield saloon soon after vanished without a trace. Persistent legends of deathbed confessions by associates have circulated since at least 1977, though no clear evidence has emerged. Ella's murder remains one of North Central Arkansas's most gruesome crimes, and the case continues to intrigue. The absence of solid proof, potential for accomplices, and the era's investigative limitations raise questions about whether Odus acted alone, acted with others, or acted at all, and was totally innocent. The swift justice, driven by community outrage and weak evidence, leaves the hanging of Odus Davidson a haunting reminder of the complexities of justice and the enduring mystery of an unresolved crime.